Ungrateful, my father said, loud enough for everyone in the room to hear clearly. Selfish. My mother added immediately, like she had been waiting for that exact moment. My sister didn't speak, but the way she looked at me said even worse things. Jason laughed under his breath, not even trying to hide how much he was enjoying this. The lights were bright, harsh enough to expose every expression and every silent judgment in the room. On the coffee table, a lottery ticket lay there, already turned into money they had divided. They stood close together, like a team, like I had never really been part of them. The moment I stepped inside, the room went quiet, like someone had suddenly cut all sound. My mother moved first, grabbing the ticket quickly, trying to hide it before I saw anything. But I had already seen enough to understand exactly what had just happened here. I smiled a little, just enough to make it look like I wasn't affected at all. "Did you win something?" I asked, keeping my voice steady, like I didn't already know. "Not much," my mother said, not even looking at me. "Just a little extra money." Jason couldn't hold it in and spoke before thinking about what he was revealing. "Mom gave each of us 100,000, he said, and actually laughed afterward. No one looked at me after that. Like I wasn't even standing there in the doorway. I didn't move forward, just stood there, like I was waiting to be acknowledged. I had come back that day to tell them something I thought might finally matter. I had also won the lottery. Something far bigger than anything sitting on that table. $50 million, with about $40 million left after everything was taken out. I had planned everything on my way home, even how I would share it with them. $1 million for my parents, $50,000 each for Olivia and Jason without hesitation, and the rest I planned to keep for myself, for once, without feeling guilty about it. I had even imagined they might look at me differently, maybe even smile at me once. But I didn't say anything, not even a hint of what I was holding in my pocket. I just asked one simple question, something that had stayed with me for years. "What about me?" I said, my voice calm, even though something inside me was breaking. The atmosphere shifted immediately, like something invisible had snapped inside that room. My father slammed his glass down hard, the sound sharp enough to make me flinch slightly. "Haven't we done enough just raising you all these years?" he said coldly, without hesitation. Olivia frowned, looking at me like I had said something completely unreasonable and selfish. "This is Mom's money. She decides how she wants to split it," she said flatly. Jason leaned back, crossing his arms, clearly enjoying the moment more than he should. "You disappear for months, and now you show up just to ask for money," he said. I tried to speak, but they were already talking over me, not giving me any space. Greedy, useless, shameless. The words came one after another, layered, louder, heavier, until they filled the entire room. No one stopped them. No one questioned anything. No one even looked at me anymore. I stood there, taking it all, not reacting, not defending myself, not moving at all, in my pocket. My own lottery ticket was crumpled tightly in my hand the entire time. It was worth 100 times more than the one they had just divided so easily. And still, they had no intention of giving me even the smallest share of theirs. I forced myself to speak again, even though I already knew what the answer would be. "What if we just split it evenly?" I asked, still trying to sound reasonable somehow. 400,000 divided by 5 people. That's 80,000 each, I added quietly. Jason slammed the table immediately, his expression turning sharp and full of irritation. "Are you obsessed with money or something?" he snapped, like I was the problem here. My father's face darkened, his voice dropping lower, colder, heavier than before. "How did you turn into this kind of person after everything we've done for you? We raised you all these years, and this is how you show your gratitude?" My mother started crying instantly, her voice shaking as she spoke dramatically. She talked about how hard it was carrying me, raising me, sacrificing everything for me. She said I was ungrateful, said I didn't deserve anything they had ever given me. She added that I earned enough, that I didn't need this money at all. I listened quietly because none of these words were new to me anymore. After I graduated, I had once been completely broke and desperate for any help. I asked them for $500 just temporarily, just to get through that month. They called me useless, then turned around and bought Olivia a designer bag that week. They bought Jason a gaming console without even thinking about it twice. When I was dating someone, they told me to get pregnant on purpose. They said that would guarantee marriage, and I could send money home every month. I didn't say anything back then, even though something about it felt deeply wrong. Eventually, my partner found out and left me without even giving me a chance. I stopped asking them for anything after that, and I stopped expecting anything too. But that day, I still asked the one question I had buried for years inside me. Have you ever loved me at all? I asked, finally letting it out. The room went quiet for just a second, like even they weren't expecting that question. My father picked up his cup and threw it directly at me without warning. Hot water splashed across my feet as the glass shattered loudly on the floor. A sharp piece cut into my ankle, and I could feel the blood running slowly. No one moved. No one reacted. No one even looked at me. Raising you was worse than raising a dog, he said, his voice full of disgust. Olivia shook her head, calling me greedy again like that was all I was to her. Jason laughed and added, you should have just died when you got lost back then. My mother clutched her chest, turning away like she couldn't even bear seeing me anymore. Just leave. I don't want to see you ever again, she said through her tears. I didn't say anything else. After that, not even a single word to defend myself. I turned around and walked out, closing the door behind me without looking back once. Downstairs, my hands were shaking slightly, but it wasn't because I was sad anymore. In my pocket, the ticket was still there, pressed tight in my hand the whole time. The numbers were clear, unmistakable, impossible to misunderstand in any way. $50 million. They had just divided 400,000 and called me greedy to my face. While I stood there the entire time, holding 40 million quietly in my pocket. I looked at the ticket one last time, then put it back without hesitation. And just like that, I stopped thinking about them completely. For the first time in my life, I stopped putting them before myself.